would make it this far. They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitted for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this, go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same.
Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get big right. Cause it can get big right. Cause it can get big right.
Ay, please don't play no games with me, I promise I'm too much. Ay, I can never let up even if you had enough. Ay, this ain't for the faint of heart, we always playing rough. I had enough, it ain't luck. I needed a vision, I needed ambition, I needed a mission to beat this submission with no intermission. I see the collision, the crash in the distance, they coming off track, no. Now when they ask what's the motive, don't talk about the show. They all about to see what I mean in the moment. I gotta keep going, I'm shaking the dice and I'm keeping it rolling, they already know. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play it.
Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get big right. Cause it can get big right. Cause it can get big right.
Salute. That's really good. Salute everybody in the building, man. One more time, man. As the internet tries to catch up, everybody who's in the building, man. Salute to everybody who's in the building. A lot to talk about today. We got some things queued up today to talk about, man. Obviously, coming off the back end of this Shakur Stevenson New York press conference, we're going to talk about all that stuff, right? Shout out to everybody who's in the building. As usual, when these type of press conferences kick off, whenever Ring Magazine potentially kicks off something like this, there's a lot of other information, right? A lot of sidebar things. You got Keyshawn who popped up, Richardson Hitchins who popped up, Clarissa Shields popped up, and everybody obviously getting the space up to speed with what they're up to and what they plan on doing. So we got all those things to talk about. I think this Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson face-to-face face-off with Mr. Versace was very interesting as well, right? Very telling. A lot of people talking about the press conference was lackluster. I mean, look, man, not everything can be all jokes and games. People want the antics to be at the highest level. They want to see the tension floating across the room. You want to be able to cut through the tension with a butter knife, right? And at times when it doesn't deliver that type of performance or entertainment, people don't have a lot to take away from the press conference. Me, on the other hand, I think this press conference had a lot going on, right? I think it spoke to a lot because, look, the tension is high. And when it's good and it's great, you don't need to sell it with fake antics. The fight itself, the quality of the fight should sell itself. Very similar to, let's say, Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, as those guys weren't necessarily being so emotional about it. I think towards the end, as we got closer and closer to the fight being the fight getting here, you saw a little bit of tension on the stage in those final press conferences, those little face-offs, but ultimately there was always respect between the fighters, and I think that's what happens between real great fighters. And ushering into this era a new professionalism in the sport. Hopefully we keep maintaining and continue to evolve in that direction, as fighters aren't finding it necessary to take low blows at each other or to make everything street worthy beef, right? It doesn't need to always be that way. The quality of the fight should carry itself into the sunset, and as fans, if we're appreciating really what's happening inside the ring, then we know the formalities outside of the ring doesn't or shouldn't really take precedent over the value of the fight going on inside the ring. So we'll talk about that press conference. Certain points I felt as well. Listen, going into this fight, guys, already. Listen, I'm not hiding my hand on this one. I did before. I'm going with Shakur Stevenson for this win. I really believe he's the one who's going to be able to separate himself and get that victory. Not saying it's necessarily at all going to be an easy fight or a landslide fight, and of course not saying that that Teofimo can't beat Shakur Stevenson, but ultimately at the end of the day, we got to choose, right? You're either going to pick one side, the other side, or somewhere in the middle. But listen, there's points that make these fights very interesting. And one of the aspects of this fight that I keep talking to you guys about that I think is going to be something we need to speak on is the mental space of this fight. A great man, a wise man once said 70 to 80% mental is what this sport is, and 20 to 30% physical. So the mental aspect of this sport is going to, of this fight is going to play a huge role in how this fight looks like. When you're talking about Teofimo Lopez, you talk about how he gets himself up for the biggest challenges, but fights down at times to fighters he shouldn't be in the ring with. Well, look, you compound that with antics. You compound that with the things he says, the awkward moments that Teofimo Lopez has in front of a microphone or in front of a camera, saying things that just seem like they don't fit into the situation. You might ask yourself why. One might say Teofimo Lopez is a genius, right? He's triggering us and baiting us into believing something that's really not there, and in turn keeping this attention on himself, and good attention, right? Bad attention, good attention is all great attention, because at the end of the day, eyes are on what's going on with him. But there's another side of the conversation, right? And the other side of the conversation is that Teofimo Lopez is dealing and compensating with his own anxieties, maybe his own fears. Maybe he's facing his fears. Maybe his biggest enemy is the guy in the mirror. Maybe that's who he's most scared of. He doesn't have to be scared of Shakur Stevenson or scared of another man. It could be legitimately the man in the mirror, right? It might be dealing with himself. How much confidence does Teofimo Lopez have in himself of what he can do in the space? And, you know, maybe that's where the nerves are. But regardless, whatever the nerves are, Teofimo Lopez is going to have to deal with those nerves. He can't let those nerves get in his way of what he needs to do inside that ring. Now, he has a history right now and a track record of stepping up against the best of the best. When he gets in the ring, he does truly seem to step his game all the way up. So we can speak on both sides. I mean, what does a completely dialed in Teofimo Lopez look like in the ring with a Shakur Stevenson? If they both dialed in all the way, and Shakur Stevenson is physically, and that's Shakur Stevenson's biggest hurdle, right? Is to make sure that he's physically ready. And if we do get the best versions of each one of these fighters, which one of those guys win? Does the best version of Shakur Stevenson beat the best version of Teofimo Lopez? That's what we're optimistic about seeing, is that scenario, the best versus the best, right? But a lot to talk about, because the face off and the press conference to me was telling on certain things. Teofimo Lopez's father, very active in this press conference, doing a lot of talking in this press conference, at times maybe even over talking Teofimo and making this all about him and Shakur, really doing that. And we can talk about that as well, because there's always been this dynamic between Teofimo Sr. and Teofimo Jr. I would say in his past couple fights, and obviously when we get Ray Davis up here and we get Reyes up here, we'll talk about that dynamic, whether it's healthy, not healthy, functional, dysfunctional, and how we are looking towards that to see how that looks in the fight coming up on January 31st. Is that nerves? Is Teofimo Lopez Jr. ready to buy back into his father's game plan? Is he going to allow his father to lead him, get him out of sticky situations when he goes back to that corner and the round doesn't go the way he necessarily wanted it to go? Will Teofimo Sr. have enough respect and enough attention from Teofimo Jr. to be able to get him through that? And, you know, at times Teofimo Sr. seems a little emotional himself. Is he going to see straight? Right. And that's what it all comes down to as well. Because if Teofimo Jr. isn't really buying into his father's vision because he's thinking he's caught up too much in emotions, and, you know, pull, push and pull, push and pull, push and pull, we'll figure somewhere to land on this one, some common ground to land on it. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is a month and a half down the line. So Rome wasn't built all in one night, but we're going to talk about what it is we see at this point. Keyshawn Davis seems to be back, comfortable with the media again, speaking to the media, getting us up to speed where his mind is at in the game as well. I thought that was very interesting. We'll talk about the changes that Keyshawn Davis made with his team as well, right? Keyshawn Davis seems to have changed everything up in the background. Where is Bomac? And if Bomac indeed isn't there anymore, which is what Keyshawn Davis, I think, has a lot of people believing, then where is Keyshawn right now? We know that he just signed with Jay Prince, and that's right there with his brother from another mother, Shakur Stevenson. Did maybe Keyshawn end up with Wally Moses? I don't know where he ends up, right? Did he go get some old trainers back into the conversation? Who knows? We saw a makeshift face-off between Keyshawn Davis and Richardson Hitchins. News flash, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, news comes out yesterday. Richardson Hitchins re-signs with Eddie Hearn, which is, some people might say it's great, bad, in between. We'll talk about that. You guys let us know what you guys think about that as well. Back with Eddie Hearns, seems to be a little bit more a willing participant, seems to be very excited to get active again in 2026. We don't know what held Richardson Hitchins back. We've speculated here on the platform, weight concerns. Maybe he's staying at 140 too long. Maybe he needs to go to 147. Well, Hitchins does speak a little bit towards that as well. He speaks about potentially locking in a fight with Jermaine Ortiz towards the end of January, beginning of February. We obviously saw what happened with him and Keyshawn Davis, seemingly looking like they're in agreement to potentially do something in Norfolk, Virginia, another hometown fight for Keyshawn Davis potentially in the works. And of course, as you're looking at these face-offs between these guys, who do you see sitting in the background, moderating, mediating this whole entire situation and putting perspective on the space? Well, of course, Eddie Hearns, right? And Eddie Hearns doing so many different power moves in the game right now. You got to give him credit and say he's probably one of the biggest threats to, let's say, a TKO, or, as far as those promoters out there who are just not laying down, who are staying very active and have the most going for them. Matchroom seems to be really moving all the chess pieces right in the right place to take 2026 by storm. And we'll talk about that as well with Eddie Hearn. Deontay Wilder also in the space, ladies and gentlemen. We see him do a makeshift face-off with Derek Chisora. That's always interesting. I think I would have lost my mind if I would have heard that had been a fight announcement. That would have just drove me crazy, right? Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder. But I don't necessarily think that's what they did, but Derek Chisora speaks a little bit about the possibilities of that fight have happening this month in December, that this was a fight they were eyeballing to make happen at one point in time, but Deontay ended up having some other things he was planning to get done in New York, and we'll let Derek Chisora speak on it. We'll tap into that as well and look at Deontay Wilder, who looks like he's looking for the biggest challenges possible. He's in Dubai, if not right now, within the last 24 to 40 hours. That's where he's been. You got to know if he's over there in the Middle East. You got to think automatically, is he talking to Turkey? Is he talking to Riyadh season? Is he coordinating something? Are we anticipating, or should we be anticipating to see Deontay Wilder return in rare form back in the ring with the biggest challenges, right? And what that looks like for 2026. We'll do all that. We'll speak on all that. And obviously, I don't want to leave it to the side. We got a card coming up on Saturday. Of course, we got to get to the present boxing. Diego Pacheco, right, goes ahead and he tries to cement himself in a division right now that seems to be coming full circle. Diego Pacheco working his way towards becoming a champion in the 168-pound division. He'll be in the same conversations with the Hamza Shirazes, the Eddie Berlangas, the Jamal Charlos, all the who's who in the division. We'll talk about the fights on that card, what they look like, and the significance of those fights as far as impact on the space based on the results of those fights as well. But we won't do none of that. Without the usual suspects in the building. Shout out to my guy Angelo Reyes. Guys, what's good, man? What's good, guys? What's good? What up? We back at it, man. We back at it again, man. On another one, man. A whole lot. Actually, this one's there's a whole lot going on this particular week, man. Guys, we have to do this inside of 2 hours, so we're gonna hit these. We're gonna hit them. We're going to speak to him and try to keep it moving because there's so much to talk about. First of all, and listen, mental health wellness check on everybody in the building. Hope everybody who's in the chat is in that proper space. And if you're not, I hope you have access to the right help or the right, vehicles that can get you to being in the right space. Wishing you guys all great mental wellness. And of course, on the panel, how you guys doing? Mental health wellness check here on the panel. How you guys doing? How you doing, Angelo?
Yeah, no, I just did therapy yesterday. It's I've gotten it down to once a week. I think it's important for everybody just to understand that the holidays, if you do celebrate it, or even if you don't, actually, just people in general during this time of year with the holidays coming up, with the New Year's coming up. Sometimes it can go good your way, and then sometimes you're thinking a little too hard and can go bad your way. And it's important for you to just, check in with your friends, check in with people who love you. Don't worry about the finances or buying gifts or any of this stuff too much, because I can tell you guys right now, life is way too short. And I promise you guys will not be thinking about any of it if somebody tells you you're about to die. So just keeping it real. And yeah, man, just, it's important to get your feelings out there, right? Get your feelings out there. Don't suppress it in. But I'm doing good, Clay. Doing good. Had a good session yesterday. And then, yeah, man, all the things you're talking about. Just excited about so many news. Shout out to my guy, Ray Davis, who is in the Final Four of the Guillotine Fantasy League, y'all. He might win this whole thing. We're going to see. We're going to find out.
Yo, Ray, did those games go right for you that day? I remember you was watching. Did those, you were waiting on some things, so those things happened?
Yeah. It's actually funny that I just keep winning. I don't know how, bro. Like, I'll be at the bottom every week, and I just end up in third place.
That's knowledge, man. Knowledge about what you're looking at, man. Listen,
opportunity is getting low, though. They keep stealing all the players. I know what Angelo doing. He bottling them up, so I can't get no good players. But it's okay. It doesn't matter. You can hide those players. They ain't scoring for you. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's what matters. But yeah, man. As far as mental health, man, I have to say, I always dabbled in. I mean, I don't have a therapist, but I have friends and I have family. From time to time, we all get through emotional situations, and we have to control those feelings, man. We have to understand that sometimes just reaching out and just talking about it just allows you to move forward in life and control those situations when they happen, man. Don't black out, don't yell, don't scream, don't get out of control. But it's hard that a lot of people are going through these things where they can't control these things or they don't have nobody to talk to. So, I mean, just be an ear sometimes. I get the high school thing. Sometimes people used to laugh at people that went through things, and it just creates more stress on that person. Man, be a friend, man. That's all I got to say. Just be a friend and check in with people, like Angelo said. You know what I mean? Holidays are very important. It's stressful this time of year. And, yeah, I can't wait to talk about this too, Clay. I've been anticipating all these conversations.
Oh, good. Listen, man, that's awesome, man. And actually, just to let everybody know, I'm being transparent, right? I went to my first therapy session today, right? Salute to my service. I went to my first. I went and sat down and spoke to somebody, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, I ain't scared to tell you, it was a good experience. You know what I'm saying? It was a great experience, looking forward to the next session. I think I got a good therapist, man. It seems like he got all stuff together, man. Look, man, we want to balance everything. You want to, when you feel yourself spreading things thin, sometimes it takes an outside look on your situation to help you critically think yourself through your issues or whatever you're in. And sometimes it's not even about the issues, man. It's just trying to make the right decisions, and you kind of get stuck. A little bit of paralysis of analysis, like at a crossroads. You go this way, you go that way, and you're weighing all those things out, man. So look, man, I ain't mad. I did. It was good. Actually, it's relieving. I feel better about it, and looking forward to the one next week, man. Guys, don't be scared to do what you don't be scared to do what you got to do to make sure your head is screwed on straight. Let me take a moment. Shout out everybody who's in the building, and we'll roll right out into the conversation, guys. I got some videos queued up. All right, of some different little things that were said about Teofimo, Shakur, Keyshawn, Hitchins, things like that. And we'll talk about all those things, and whatever else comes to the table. And bottom line, before we know it, the time will be up, right? So let's get right at it. Shout out to AK Crowder in the building. Blessings and brother Claymore. Love the spiritual super chats, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Flexing and stepping in the building, saying, let's get it, Clay. Let's get it for sure, man. My brother Ray Davis right there in the building. 2 Sizzle or 2 cents. You guys might know him as in the building, says, tap that like one time. Oh, yeah, definitely as you walk into the building, make it a point to hit that like button, help the channel get to where it needs to get to. hit that like button. Manhunt in the building says, man, why Ryan not training for Barrios? I don't know why he isn't. If he isn't, I don't know what's going on. And once again, that mental health space, we talk about it all the time. Here it is with Ryan Garcia. We know he suffered from mental health issues as well going into his career. He has to dial it in, though, if he's going to be part of this conversation. I seen him on the inside the ring the other day. Looked like he was in a good mental space there, getting into it with Shakur a little bit on the show. But, man, I don't know why he's not training for Barrios. He better, though, right? Now that Barrios has made some moves in his own camp, working with Guzman, somebody who obviously had experience working with Ryan Garcia. So Ryan needs to be on point. I know we like to throw shade at Mario Barrios, saying he's the worst champion in boxing today. But, look, man, he's in the building, and he's a fundamentally sound fighter, right? I don't know what it is about him. He's not extra special in any one area, but I think he's pretty much well-rounded and definitely could take care of a Ryan Garcia if he doesn't have his head screwed on straight, right? Shout out to my brother Fly Frequency in the building, shooting me the salams, man. Walaikum salam, rahmatullah, barakatuh. My bro, man, what's good, Aki? What's good, family? Five boxing fan 754 in the building said, who is that Claymore the song? Who's that Claymore the song? I don't know. I got to look it up. I'll tell you who it is, man. It's not a big artist, man. It's a song that I just, I felt was good for the show, and it was cheap paying on the copyrights to play it all here. You know what I'm saying? It's good to go. You know what I mean? I'll let you know. Remind me later, and I'll look it up and let you know, man, for sure, man. Shout out to mine, yours in the building, saying salute, Clay, aka the Rain Man. That's what they call me, man. I like the Rain Man. You know what I'm saying? The Rain Man, the Renaissance Man. You know what I mean? I like that, man. Appreciate you, mine, yours, for sure, man. Mr. Big Play, Bray in the building, Grassroots in the building, saying, what's good, boxing family? What's good back at you, man? Salutes. Good to see you in the building, man. Mr. Ishmael in the building says, Clay in chat. Salute to you, Mr. Ishmael. Let me see who else. If I miss anybody, scrolling, flexing and stepping. Mr. Lightning Boxing in the building. Salute to you, Mr. Lightning Boxing. What's goody? Shout out to my guy, Blaze, pound for pound in the building. Salute, Blaze. What's good?
Blaze?
Yeah, just Blaze. Shout out to Hova 575 said, what's good? Claymore and the chat, what's good to you, family? SOB TV 52 in the building. Salute, SOB. What's good with you, King? What's up with it? Let's see. Kai Su 953 in the building. Salute to Kai Su. Sam from Jersey, your boy from your boy from around the corner. Lives right around the corner from you, Ray. Sam from Jersey in the building.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
I found out where you at, bro. Don't worry. I don't do that little gangster stuff. Don't worry, bro. I ain't that type of looking for you. You know what I mean? Just dapping you up when I see you. That's all. Show us some love.
Sure. Show love, man. We love the love. Shout out to Sam from Jersey with the $5 super chat. Said, Clay, Ray and Reyes boxing talk. I need this work all day. Let's go. Love it, man. Thank you, Sam from Jersey.
Real.
Hey, shout out Vega in the building, man. Vega from over there at the hangout, man. Yo, last night, bro, they were trying to cook me over there at the hangout, man.
I was about to tap in, right?
They can't cook you, bro. They can't.
Me, bro,
it was before you even got on there.
You see, I'm gonna tell you right now. There's people who like opinions are opinions, but if you want to go with facts, man, they can't cook you, bro. You know too much facts. You know too much facts.
Listen, I was trying to, they try to put the jacket on you. You know what it is, and we're gonna talk about it. You know what I mean? But this Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson thing, and Teofimo Lopez, obviously, everybody talks about his great moments, right? The Lomachenko, the Josh Taylors, and they want to make, these moments define Teofimo. And I just feel like personally, they don't speak on the shortcomings, the Sandro Martins, the Jermaine Taylors, the Steve Claggets. They don't speak on those do I still have it moments. They don't speak on not fighting Subriel, not unifying in the division, not fighting Gary Antoine Russell, not making the fights that were there in the division to be made, the uphill battle that Bob Arum had on giving him fights, putting fights in front of him that he was turning down. They don't want to talk about those inconsistencies and how that might play going into a fight against Shakur Stevenson. Me, I'm just a little bit more open about it, right? Like I give Teofimo his respect on the eye test. I think he's a naturally, and I emphasize naturally talented fighter. But when you get to this level, it's not just about your natural talent. It's also about your discipline, your mental grit, your sturdiness, all those things, right? When Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence got in the ring with each other, everybody thought that Errol Spence was him. And he was him for all argument's sake. He was him. But wasn't it the intangibles, the little small things, the drinking, the bad weight cuts, the lack of discipline and commitment to the sport that matched Terrence Crawford's commitment to the sport, eating right and living right? Those things separated those guys when they got into the big shows. I mean, where are you guys on it? I mean, am I hating on Teofimo Lopez?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Go ahead, Ray. Go. I know
I heard it, and I heard it before Clay even got up there because I was going to tap in. I just couldn't, bro. I just couldn't get to the computer. I was like, I'm not moving out of my bed, bro. But yeah, as I was listening, I didn't even get to type into the chat because my wife wouldn't let me watch it on the screen in my phone so I could type in. So I was like, forget it. I should have just got my Chromebook, to be honest with you. But yeah. No, at the end of the day, man, people have to be understanding and realize that Teofimo does have flaws. He's not superhuman. And I know the demographic over there is a little different. You know what I mean? It's well-balanced. People of New York and people of a lot of Latino descent over there. You know what I mean? Shout out to my brothers, the Brown brothers. You know what I mean? Absolutely. But I just want to say, like, y'all are looking into Teo being something that he's not. You're looking at Shakur being soft. Him coming up a division, him coming up from 3 divisions basically down to now 140, where Teofimo only moved 1. Yes, the skill set and athleticism is there for Teo. I heard it all last night, and I've been saying this on his channel. Athleticism is there for Teo, but do we get Gordo? Excuse me, or do we get Teofimo? You know what I mean? Do we get the what's his name, the showman, or do we get Teofimo? The what's his other nickname? Whatever. Anyway, do we get that guy? You know what I mean?
Do we get the other guy? Do we get
do we get the other guy? So right. We have to understand who Teo is. Like, Teo has been a mystery to all fans. Yes, he steps up in big fights. Yes, we have seen him do this time and time again. But he also has avoided big fights. He's also have avoided big fighters by name. Just that little gimmick he said about the movement. Oh, Devin Haney doesn't have the movement, and Shakur does. Like, that right there says a lot, because you rather not go up to face Devin, which is probably where you would naturally be closer to weight, and you're calling out Boots and Bud, but you'd rather pull a guy up in Shakur and fight him because of similar skill set to say, hey, if I beat this guy, there's no doubt I can beat a Devin Haney, and just have the people believe that. So it just shows you, and I'm not really trying to throw this guy in the mix. I'm just bringing it all to full frontal. Teo has a lot of bad positioning on his side, and we have to question a lot of things in that camp. Been with Robert Garcia, been with Canelo's trainer, he's been with this guy Guzman, he's been with this guy, all behind the scenes with his dad. His dad and him are getting into it. You can see how he was like, it kind of looked awkward on stage with his dad going back and forth with Shakur.
He kind of checked his pops a little bit when he told him to shut up. Am I bugging? Did he tell him?
Yeah. No, I noticed that, right? I noticed that, Clay.
Bro, looked a little awkward with him, right? So then at the same time, Shakur looked very level, like, yo, what's going on with you? Where's this energy at in the Versace interview? Yo, where's that energy you had? All this stuff you used to talk back in the day. I'm not like that. I'm reading books. I'm writing. Bro, the guy, especially throwing his balls and what's his face?
I sent that to you, right? It was funny. It was
that was crazy. So we don't know what guy we got. And let me tell you, only thing I give Teo is when he's focused, he's focused. So we hope you get the focus Teofimo Lopez. I don't want the weirdness of Teofimo Lopez. I don't want him going down the Shadows Road and trying to coattail Ryan Garcia. Stay focused, get in that ring and dominate if you can. If not, but give us a great fight. Shakur, you know what I mean? He's got everything going his way. I like what Shakur is doing, the way he's moving, and I'm proud of the fight, man. I think it's a great thing for boxing.
Yeah, no, and again, I want it to be said, and that's why it's important when we go on record like this, that all people ever have to do is look back and go to the episode and hear it. But when this fight first got made and we talked about it, I said, I think it's a 50-50 fight because there's so many things we don't know going into this. For example, as great as Shakur is, and it's publicly known that I rock with Shakur and I root for him, that I still haven't seen Shakur fight at 140. This will be the first time I get to see him climb up in weight. And we don't really know if there's any problems until we see it, right? The fact that Shakur is willing to step up in weight against the best guy. And I think that it would be wrong for anyone. I mean, I guess we could have a debate on who the best 140 is. But in all honesty, if we're just talking resume and how a person looked, he's the best guy. Teofimo Lopez is the best guy at 140 pounds. I've defended his win against Arnold Barboza in this channel. I've said, look, man, people try to act like that wasn't a good win when Arnold Barboza is coming off of 2 great wins heading into the Teofimo Lopez fight. Well, yes, but I'm counting the Jack Catterall and upset and the whole bit, right? And so yeah, no, I think where everybody gets thrown off with Teo is what Ray's talking about, the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde act, right? And I found that yesterday's press conference, and then they showed the replay of the Mr. Versace podcast.
Right.
Even on that, you kind of see a little glimpse of it in that, I sent the guys this joking thing where if you guys have ever seen the Key and Peele skit on, Claudius, I'm going to put it in his, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
that's it.
I'm going to put it right in his name.
Yeah, right. So that's a little bit of Teo yesterday where he was like, jiggling to this and I'm a F you hard. And Shakur kept going, whoa, pause, man. Pause, right? So there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of that. But then also, if you guys really pay attention to the Versace podcast, where the two of them are face to face, I can tell that was mental chess happening already. Because then Shakur even goes, I don't know, man, I don't like this version of you, right? And you can tell that was a little checkmark win for Teo, because there's the saying that Clay, when I used to say this to all my students, I would say to them, when it comes to confrontation, right? You can't give sake without sake. And sake is that spirit in Japanese culture, that angst, that energy, right? But if you and I are fighting, you can't give it to me if I'm not giving it back to you. And I think that's what Teo's doing. He's trying his best not to get riled up on anything that Shakur is saying, because he's playing this mind game. Like, no, I'm not going to give you any extra juice for you. You got to go. He's almost saying to Shakur, you're going to need to find motivation by yourself on you. Right. Because I'm not going to do it.
I'm not feeding you.
Yes, I'm not feeding you. So I believe that we are going to get the best version of Teo. And we are going to get the best version of Shakur, which is why I keep letting everyone know this is a worthwhile event and fight to watch. It's also extremely worthwhile to pay attention to the space of boxing, because you have two young guys in the early primes of their careers putting it on the line. Somebody's going to lose, right? Somebody's going to lose. And one of the lines that Teo even said that I thought was kind of telling is he said, Shakur's got everything to gain and I got nothing to lose. And I was like, all right. Okay, I like it, man. I like it.
I agree with you. I think it kind of, I want to let you on your plane just to say that we can get deeper into that, because Teofimo Lopez, it felt like at one point in time was kind of losing any bit of backing he had, right? He was on the outs with Turkey Al-Sheikh, right? And he turned away from the Devin Haney fight. Him and Bob Arum's relationship with Top Rank and the whole situation is upside down. I shout out to HLD, who's constantly told us that he had to deal with Turkey that had to be honored and everything like that. But still, it just seemed like, the fights he was trying to make happen, all of them fell through. Jerron Ennis didn't happen. Terrence Crawford ignored him all the way towards the end, and he walked away from the Devin Haney fight. This one right here does seem to be a last point of contention for Teofimo Lopez to make an argument as far as in the greatness category and him being active. But I'll let you continue.
Yeah, no, and I'll land my plane with this, because I know we got a lot of subjects to talk about. I like that visually, if you're a casual sports fan watching that press conference and you're seeing the narrative that's being put out, did you guys notice there was no WBO belt? Did you notice that Teo was just holding on Ring Magazine belts?
You right? See the thumbnail?
Yep. That's all. That's all educating the public that the undisputed champion is really the one that's holding this ring belt, right? And I think that with Zuffa Boxing opening their show January 23rd, I hear it's here in Las Vegas. It'll be really 2026 will be very interesting moving forward with all young up and coming fighters, all within their primes, all fighting each other. And I landed to say too, Clay, that way people don't forget. I hear that the co-main event is Ammo Williams versus Carlos Adames at 160. Right. I'm also hearing the David Morrell versus Christian Mbili will end up on January 31st.
Oh, not David Morrell.
Oh, yeah. No, are you sure?
No, isn't it Hamza?
Is it Hamza? No, David Morrell. Okay, then David Morrell. Oh, that's what it is. Caleb Smith. I'm sorry, my bad, guys. David Morrell versus Caleb Smith is ending up on this card in January 31st. And Teofimo Lopez, Richardson Hitchins versus Keyshawn Davis was supposed to end up on this card, and then something happened, and we're going to talk about that. But go ahead.
I got it queued up. I got all that stuff queued up, man. But yeah, man. So listen, man, the topic is a great topic because this is a great fight. This is great for boxing. These are two guys in their prime. This is not too late. This is not too soon. This is right on time, right? And this is maybe even right at the right weight class at 140 pounds. I don't know. This fight happens at 147 for Shakur Teo in particular. I think Shakur and Devin is probably going to be 147, but I think this particular fight is right where it needs to be with the right prize on the table, right? That Ring Magazine Lineal Championship. But Teofimo Lopez, somebody who's always been feeling like he's been shorted by the industry, by the space. He talked about with Top Rank how, they only push the black fighters, and he doesn't get his respect everywhere Teofimo Lopez goes. When he speaks, he's carrying his Ring Magazine belts. He's really proud of those belts, and he really feels like those belts make him better than his peers. He really feels like resume-wise, he's supposed to be somewhere that he's not getting the respect for. And they talked about it a little bit in a couple of moments here. But right here, I'm going to pull up, I'm actually going to pull up a clip here of Teofimo Lopez talking with Punch Drunk, man. Shout out to Punch Drunk here. Let me see here if this is the one. Teofimo talking to Punch Drunk here on this video right here. This is courtesy of Punch Drunk Boxing right here. And Punch Drunk asks him a very simple question, saying, man, you don't get the respect that you're supposed to, man. You're always in that position, and it seems like you're always in this uphill battle. And wanted to get Teofimo Lopez's perspective on it. Let's see what he has to say.
You beat the best southpaw in lightweight division, beat the best 140, you're the two-time lineal, you're the underdog again. What is wrong with boxing? What you feel is wrong with boxing? They keep on getting it wrong, and why you think they're going to have it wrong again?
I'm gonna say it to you guys. If you want to be liked in boxing, be good at it. You want to be loved in boxing, be great at it, or be the best at it. But if you want to be hated in boxing, be the greatest at it. It's just point blank period. And I think that's what it is. And what it comes down to is that they got to bring a lightweight to come over here and
all right, so that part right there, Teofimo speaking on the reasoning behind why he's not getting his respect in boxing. And this just goes right along with the argument that Teofimo Lopez has always had, that he believes he's just not getting the recognition he deserves. But what do you think about him saying that? As far as, I believe, I don't want to misquote him, but he says to be liked in boxing, you got to be good. To be loved in boxing, you got to be the best. And if you want to be hated in boxing, be the greatest. Does that hold any significance here, or is he delusionally not speaking about something? What do you guys feel about that?
Oh, you want me to go first? Yeah, no, he said it in the Versace podcast when he was doing the one-on-ones, and I think the point he was trying to make is he was going back and forth with Shakur, and I think the quote was, "If you want to be liked in the space of boxing, because people are and the media are what they are, then just be good at it." And if you want to be loved by everybody in boxing, then be I think he said be great at it on the Versace product. Yeah, right. And then he said, but if you, but then he said, but then if you, the ones who are hated are the ones that are the very, very best, or at the top of their class, or the greatest of all time. And then he made that point where he said, name me every single great and tell me a time where they were really loved, because they were all hated at the time. And I was like, okay, I see that. I can see where he's coming from at that. I think that part of it, Clay, is him trying to tell everyone that the reason why he is hated is because he already is the greatest. Does that kind of make sense? Like, I think it's like him saying to everybody, the reason why you all hate me, and I'm not even trying to get your love anymore, because I know I'm doing my job, because I am the greatest. And the more you hate me, the more you validate that I'm the greatest, right? So I think that that's what he's saying to himself. But what do you think, Ray?
Oh man, you don't want to know what I think. It's a long list. Going back to Nakatani, excuse me. Kome, Lomachenko, Kambosos, lost. Kampa moving up. Martin, terrible fight. Taylor, shocker. Ortiz, terrible fight. Claggett, who knows what he did with a Claggett, and that's probably where he gets this jigama from. But anyway, and last but not least, a Barbosa. You know what I mean? In all this time, if you even look at it, there's been a lot of time off in between. The greatness thing, I don't know where it's coming from. The hate is there for him because of the antics that he had displayed at multiple times. The fact that his father has did so many things that turn people the wrong way. And I don't know if it's really hate. I just think it's disgust. Big difference in words. And I think he wants to put himself in a category of greatness. He makes claims that are false, which is fine. I mean, he's enabled, and in certain sites, he is the best when he had the lineal title. But as far as him being the most dominant and ferocious fighter in the divisions, when he made claims that this guy would never get a chance for a belt and this guy would never fight me and I want to fight this guy, and never made it happen, and then fights being presented to him like, I'm not fighting that guy, argue with your promoters. That's not greatness. That's not me accepting the fight and making the biggest fights happen for the people. That's me looking and picking and choosing. So to me, that creates a whole different side of, I don't like this guy. I don't hate him, but I don't like him because I recognize him. I salute him when he gets in that ring. He gives us a great performance, but I just don't think he's consistent. So I think he's putting himself into a category of the upper echelon of boxing, when I think I don't want to say he's above mediocre. He is good. So he is loved. Obviously, we got a few fans that love Teofimo. I just think he's a great boxer to the point of I think he's likable. He's a character. He brings something to the sport. I love that about him. But as far as him, waving, what do you call it? Wiggling his tellywhacker or whatever we'll call it, was it from Porky's? You know what I mean? I think he has a lot to improve upon, man. And until he shows us levels, like if he shows us levels with Shakur, listen, man, I'll accept that. But as far as him, he never showed me levels. He's always fought people. I think Loma was his best fight. Josh Taylor was just an anomaly. Josh Taylor was falling off the cliff. So until he shows me levels, I really can't say Teo is that guy. He's just a name. And I think the name signifies something over his career. That's where I lay my plane, man. I just don't see it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I think, I mean, I'll wrap it up real easy and get right back to the video, because for me, at the end of the day, Teofimo is still, when I see that and I see him give responses like that, he's still, I see compensating going on. He's dealing with his shortcomings. He's speaking to himself. He's not speaking to me and you. He's not even speaking to the guy who's interviewing. He's speaking to himself. He's saying to himself, I'm great. He's still trying to convince himself. And I think that's one of the things with Teofimo Lopez that's going to be interesting to see how he deals with that going into the ring, because he may be his biggest and worst enemy as he continues to try to validate himself, and he continues to try to feel worthy. He continues to find a reason to believe in his skill set and say that he truly believes that he is the greatest and that he is the best out there. Instead of saying he's a great fighter and he's willing to fight the best, he always wants to put himself on this on top of this hill. But it takes a lot of convincing. Obviously for himself, it takes convincing, and definitely, the opponent in front of him is Shakur Stevenson, who I think factually just does not believe that, and people on the outside are speaking towards it. Even the Vegas odds are once again confronting Teofimo with the reality that he is not the best in the world. That he, as good of a fighter he is, he's not the best. Vegas doesn't believe you. A lot of boxing fans don't believe you. The guy you're getting in the ring doesn't believe you. But that's not important. The biggest question is, do you believe you? And at times, I wonder if he does when he responds to questions like that. Right? Let's continue with it.
Try to take and dethrone Teofimo because they got no other options. I'm excited for this whole thing, and whether they get it right or wrong, at the end of the day, the right person's gonna win that night, and that'll be Teofimo. Thankful, and nevertheless, man, I want more. Let's see who we get after this. We just gotta keep it going, man. We're not even in our prime yet. You know I said it earlier, but we're not in our prime yet. At least I'm not.
How hard was it negotiating with Shakur's team for this fight?
I think everything just takes time, you know.
All right, so that's enough of that one. I'm not going to go into that interview. Shout out to Punch Drunk though. But yeah, man. Once again, talking himself up, right? Constantly just trying to figure out where he. Hold on a second here. I'm trying to move this thing as seamlessly as I can because I want to get to the next video here. Hold on here. Share screen. Boom. No. What? There we go. Let's check this one out here real quick. Here, Teofimo is speaking to it again, right? He's being confronted now on this face-off, and this is a different setting. He's way more calm. This is not the press conference, but let's see what he has to say when when he gets asked a big question about him not getting his accolades into space, and let's see how he speaks to it and what Shakur has to say about it as well.
That rises to the level of your competition. When you were going against.
No, I'm sorry. Actually, this video is actually the video of him speaking on the whole theory of him rising to the best version of himself and all those things, right? And let's see what he says about that.
Loma, people felt you were the underdog. Josh Taylor, the same thing. And those are the fights where you really showcased your skills and abilities and upset the odds. Is this another fight where you're coming in there with that mentality to upset the odds?
Just put them in front of me and I'll beat them. Not about the odds. It's about, I guess defining them. You define the odds. Everybody's against you, great. That's when you know you're doing great. I put a thing out there. It's like, if you want to be liked in this sport, be a good boxer. You want to be loved in the sport, be the best boxer. But if you want to be hated in this sport, including the odds, be the greatest boxer.
Does that bother you based on your accomplishments?
Absolutely not. This is part of what it is. Tell me one fighter that was not at the top, that was doing their own thing.
Well, it's usually number 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 is him and Keyshawn, and him and Keyshawn are close friends, and that fight couldn't happen.
Yeah, my bad, bro, guys. My bad, guys. That's not the part I want to cue on because he already spoke on that one. This is actually the part that I wanted to cue up here. And this was a whole entire Teofimo Lopez speaking towards a whole entire Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson situation.
Hey, buddies.
Yes, sir.
So you played yourself. All right.
How I play myself, bro.
You could have got a ring. You could have had 2 like me right now.
I ain't gonna fight my brother.
See, that's the thing, man. Ain't no brothers in this thing.
You ain't got brothers, brother, but I got brothers.
I had one, but he ain't here no more. So it's like,
I'm just telling you how I look at it, bro.
How do you guys feel about that whole entire Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson situation and the whole brother at this point? I mean, can we respect it? Can we just respect it for what it is, or is it something that just has no place?
I actually think that was. When I sent it to you guys, I was saying this is the mental sparring that I'm talking about because. Remember, I've said this before, so I'll say it again on record. If this goes to decision, man, I was there when I watched Manny Pacquiao get robbed by Timothy Bradley. And I know that there was some effery going on because of a contract, this and whatnot. So, again, I don't want to use the C word, but if this goes to decision, T.O.'s already planting the seeds out there like, hey, man, if you guys want this guy to be the 140 champ, I'm just saying, look at the problems that you guys are going to be dealing with, or you could just let me have the win. So, Shakur can't make it look close. That's all I'm saying. He can't make it look close.
Yeah. Make sure my mic's on. No, I totally agree with that. I think he's definitely trying to tap into the mindset of Shakur. He just spoke on prior to him saying that after this win, I'm going to take on the next biggest challenge. Um, Teofimo has no room to talk here, especially with the opportunities that's been brought to him, and he's never obliged by him. He's a part of a 4 King era, and he only fought one guy. Actually, he didn't fight any, did he? No, he fought no guys. He fought Loma.
Yeah, Loma's the closest. Yep.
Right. So now he's fighting Shakur, who he dismissed for being a better version of the 4 King that he was just supposed to fight because he has a movement, whichever that means. I guess the following, I would imagine. But to me, it just makes no sense. So now he's trying to put in Shakur's head, like, look, you're not going to win this fight because you can't even get friendship out of the way. I hear that because if you heard this interview, they talked about how they were cool with each other in the amateurs, and he had a little jealousy towards Teofimo and all that. So he's playing mind games. And another thing he threw out there was a heartful moment. And if you watch Shakur's face when he says it, I had a brother once. He threw that out there to say, look, tragedies happen. Sometimes you just have to go with life and move along with it because it never stopped me from moving. So he's trying to throw something out there to Shakur to get in his head. It's all mind games.
Right. I agree with you, man. I think it is mind games. But I think it is. I ain't gonna lie to you. Just off the strength of the argument itself between him and Shakur, Keyshawn and Shakur, I do think it does seem to present to be a problem, especially considering the fact that Keyshawn's moved up to 140 and now you're back. You guys were separated and it's like, okay, you're at 135 doing your thing. He's up there at 140 and here you are back in the conversation. It seems like you guys are going to continue to bump heads. The WBO went ahead and ranked Keyshawn Davis at number 1 in the WBO rankings. And if you win this fight here, you guys are confronted with the same situations over and over and over again. It's just like, how are you going to confront this? I mean, obviously, no matter what, Shakur said that he's not going to fight his brother, and that is what it's going to be. But I think Shakur is going to be real good with this. But let's continue.
Can I say one thing first? Hold on, pause it real quick. I also want to put this out there. When they did make him number 1 in the WBO, Bob Arum tried to force this fight, and I think even Turkey got involved with it. They tried to make this fight happen with Keyshawn as a return fight, and Teo turned it down. He didn't want to fight Keyshawn Davis. He didn't, and that was presented to them behind the scene. I think right before the Devin Haney offer. Shakur said after he said that, Shakur said he'll fight him. He threw his name in the hat and said he'll fight him. And not only that, he'll drop the belt so his brother can get it because he knew that was a problem with Teo. So is Teo really ducking his brother? Is his stablemate? So it's funny how, like I said, it's a weird circle of scenarios here that's going on. It's mind games.
Yeah. Hey, Clay, I also want to throw out before you press play. First of all, we continue to go over and over again what the hell's wrong with these sanctioning bodies ranking whoever on top of who and whatnot, and who cares, right? Secondly, to Shakur's defense, I think that during this conversation, Shakur was trying to say, I'm willing to fight anybody, and what he really wanted to say is, Tank scared ass should have fought me, but he didn't, and that's why I don't have the ring belt. And I think Teo's comeback was, but you're not willing to fight anybody because you're not willing to fight the guy. And then that's when Versace spoke up about the whole number 1, number 2. But at the end of the day, if Shakur would have had a chance to fight whoever, man, Morataya, Andy Cruz, Tank Davis, Floyd Schofield, who he was supposed to fight back in February, none of this would even be a conversation, and he would already have a ring belt. So it's all just whatever, man. You know how I feel about the sanctioning bodies, Clay. So,
yeah, I mean, and we'll get to that part of the conversation too, right? Here.
I don't get it. I bet you their plan is this, and this is it. He goes to 140, tries to claim it, then he'll probably go back down to 35, let Keyshawn go to 40 and do his thing at 40. And then Crawford's got his agenda. He's already on his way out soon, eventually. It's a little.
I got a question though, bro. What do one man's plan or whatever you got to do with?
Because
you?
it's not boxing.
So right here, this is where I tell you about mental just discipline, right? Shakur is 100% dialed in on Teofimo Lopez. He's not going to let no distraction. We're here talking about a fight. Here you are breaking down things that have nothing to do with you and sharing your personal opinions on things that your opinion don't matter in. So the question is, where are you? Why are you such a scatterbrain? Why can't you focus on this fight right here? It's in front of you, and you're talking about something else. And let's see what Tio has to say about that.
It's boxing, yeah. It is
This
boxing.
ain't
I'm fighting
boxing.
you.
I'm
not fighting nobody else.
It is not the
I'm
truth.
fighting you.
But I understand, but it's not the essence of what we
The
did
essence
it for, what
of
we do.
shit
Do
is
it
boxing,
for.
bro. Boxing is me versus you, the best versus the best.
Bro,
That's what boxing
we
is.
can all kick it when we done, retired.
Bro,
we can
you
all
got
kick
the
it when
ring.
we.
So the argument continues, right? And to me, guys, Teofimo just seems distracted here. I don't know about you guys, but is he speaking about anything that has anything to do with the fight?
Yeah, no, I think, like I said, man, this is a campaign, right? He's trying to get under Shakur's skin because he saw that it's like when you're doing that verbal conversation and you could feel it in the room, right, Clay? So when he said the whole, now you got brothers, he could tell Shakur got a little, a little irritated by it. So now he's kind of trying to push that to Shakur. I do agree with you, Clay, that Shakur's saying, what does anything have to do with anything when I'm fighting you? You're the guy in front of me. I'm going to take you out. I think Tio, though, to my point about the Pacquiao-Bradley thing, I think he's doing a political campaign of, just remember, that's not boxing. Boxing is what I'm doing, which is I'm willing to fight anyone, Turkey. Anyone you put in front of me. Boots Ennis said no to me. Turkey, remember that? I'm willing to do anything you want, sir. I think there's a political campaign going on the back, back end of this.
I think Shakur, I don't think it worked though, right? I don't think it got
it started to.
I mean, I think to a certain degree because Shakur doesn't like to talk about the whole entire Keyshawn situation, right? But I think at the end of the day, to me, what it looked like to me is that Shakur really was like,
he dialed back.
Yeah, like, why are we talking about this situation? Why aren't we focused on this fight right now? But you know what? I'm rethinking it. Maybe it did get to him. Maybe it was working.
It started to. The brother thing definitely started.
He had to dial back and pull it back into what is going on there. He literally, you can see it. You can see that he was distracted by it, and he dialed it back to no, me and you, bro. Leave that out of this. We ain't got because it did have some effect when he said it. But Shakur did a good job of trying to throw the cast the bait back in the water to cast him back in. He did.
Yeah, magazine belts right there on your shits right now, right? Are you the best fighter at 140?
That I am.
So if that's the case, what are we talking about? Why are we talking about anybody else?
Don't flip it.
No, I'm really asking.
You had opportunities to be
why
the
are we
best
talking about anybody else? It's me
you
and
had
you.
the opportunity to be the best at 135.
Okay.
You ain't tend to do that because you got brothers.
My brothers, hold on, time out. Let's understand what you're saying. Keyshawn had one fight where he got the belt, right? Right?
At 35.
Yes.
Okay.
After that fight, he had.
But you get what I'm saying.
How long
right?
did he have a belt for? No, you saying that I'm not fighting the best. I will fight anybody. But I'm just saying.
But not your brothers.
No, I'm not fighting somebody that I came up with.
And this is
somebody I really been with, like on some real trenches. Me and this person, I'm not.
Fell for it. He fell for it.
Listen,
he fell for the banana in the tailpipe, Clay.
Listen, man. T.O.'s penetrating pause at this point, right? You can see it's happening right now because what T.O.'s really saying at the end of the day is you're not willing to do anything to be great. There's a limitation, right? Like you're willing to hit all these points, but there's a wall you're willing to hit because you've gone ahead and made a brother out of Keyshawn Davis, who's not your blood brother, and you've allowed this relationship to get in the way of your potential greatness. So how committed are you to being great, right? How willing are you to be great? And is that a fair question?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree.
I told you this was a whole mental sparring session. The whole interview.
He pulled himself out, and Tio just dragged him right back into the deep end.
Yeah.
And actually, there's a footage that shows on the other one where Keyshawn was right in front of Shakur when that whole thing was happening.
Yeah, he's in the background, right by the screen.
In this room right now?
Yeah.
They showed that footage, Clay, where Keyshawn's standing there listening, but he's looking right at Shakur. So I felt like, Shakur. Shakur can't really say what he may want to counter with because Keyshawn's right there.
Wow.
Keyshawn was standing right behind Teofimo behind the stage.
Wow.
He was standing there watching. If you look when he says my brothers, look at him, look past him, look in the background. He looks right at Keyshawn.
Yep. And I was gonna say, like, honestly, the greatest comeback, and hindsight being 2020, Shakur, if you listen to our podcast, you might have wanted to do it this way. The minute Tio started taking on that rabbit hole, the easiest thing for you to have said is due to Floyd, man. Look at him and goes, you know what? Keyshawn knows. Keyshawn knows what it's all about. Keyshawn knows. What does that mean? Keyshawn knows. I think everybody knows too. Like, what does that mean?
It's an interesting situation that Shakur has put himself into with Keyshawn Davis, because when you make bonds like clearly the bond that Shakur has made with Keyshawn Davis, do you foresee the reality of the fact that you guys are going to be in the same divisions going up together? And how do you guys in your mind say you're going to deal with it? I mean, I'm sure the conversations come up that we're never going to fight with each other, but here it is, man. It's a weapon to be used clearly, right? Teofimo's using it. He's going to build that wedge in there. He's going to throw that in the pot. He's going to stir the pot. And this conversations, obviously this isn't the last time Shakur is going to be dealing with this conversation, but at some point or another, you got to think that it's going to come to head, right?
It's like some WWE stuff, Clay.
Like
you're never gonna fight your brother.
It's an imminent issue that seems like it's gonna pop up between him and Keyshawn.
Right,
it's imminent. You know what I mean? But let's tap into this as well, real quick. Let's let him finish this, and I want to tap into another part.
All right, so like let's say that was the
I
case,
will fight
right?
you.
Let's say that was the case, and
you the guy.
I ain't gonna see no unifications at 40 if he tries to take mine, because he buddy with.
Ain't you gonna beat me?
But I'm saying,
ain't you gonna beat me?
I'm saying it.
That's what we have. If you gonna beat me,
no.
What are
I
we
know what
talking
I'm
about?
gonna do. I know what I'm
so
gonna
do.
So
you gonna erase my name?
I know what I'm going to do.
This 140.
Basically, what I'm trying to let you know is that boxing ain't gonna allow it.
But how boxing not gonna allow it?
It won't.
How?
Because now you facing me.
Oh shit! I'm so scared.
Boom. Yeah, he's saying basically.
Yeah, he's saying Timothy Bradley, Manny Pacquiao, baby.
If you're not good for boxing,
not allow it.
Right. If you're not going to put boxing for up front and make it your priority, then boxing is going to put you in the back again. You're not going to be able to get to those levels and hit those great levels that you're trying to hit if you keep on being counterproductive to the philosophy of boxing, especially in today's boxing that Turkey Al-Sheikh is ushering in, right? The best fighting the best. In this particular era, your particular mind state is going to get in your way. You giving yourself a ceiling. That is question, man. Shout out Mr. Ishmael says this is not working on Shakur. I don't know if it is working. You know what I mean? I don't know if it is working. And I don't think it's working in this particular fight to distract Shakur, but I do believe like one way or another, this is going to have to get addressed. This Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson, brotherly love thing that they got going on, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see here. Hold on.
Tio, I'm frightened.
All right. Now, this is the other thing I wanted to speak on right here.
But what I'm saying is you said like Shakur's on the pound for pound list. You're not. Does that bother you at all based on your level of accomplishments?
No.
You got 2 ring belts right now on your lap.
And it's not enough.
Well, the one you guys are fighting for is right there.
I need more. I need more. I think with success, there's no such thing as too much of it. I need more. I crave it. I need it.
And I know
my lifeline.
I know Shakur, you were pushing for that belt in the Zepeda fight, and it couldn't really happen because of Zepeda's ranking, not because of yours.
Yeah.
Now you got it.
Who had the ring at 35?
Okay.
Boom. Now, do you think
Game.
that Teofimo is going to be able to get over this second? Like, is this going to drive him? Is he going to use this to drive him to be who he needs to be in his fight?
Yeah,
I think a good thing for Teo.
Yeah, I think you're already seeing it. That Teo locked in the minute he was like, okay, cool, I'm fighting Shakur. So he knows what's at stake, right? He knows that, again, I'm back. I can be back in. A lot of the wording that you'll hear Teo say between now and January 31st won't be the clown show Teo anymore. It'll be the I'm a humble servant of boxing, and I'm going to show everyone why I'm hated so much. But at the end of the day, boxing's going to win, and it's all political gain for Turkey, so that Turkey will continue to work with Teo, because at the end of the day, Teo knows, if I keep playing this game this way. Now, having said that, we learned our lesson, Claymore, with Brian Norman versus Devin Haney. We have to see these two fighters and say to ourselves, can the best version of Teo beat the best version of Shakur? We can no longer do this whole, I don't know, man, Haney might have PTSD. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to fall for it. I fell for it last time, and I'm not going to. I was with Ray. I even defended Haney. I was like, I don't know. You guys keep talking about Haney getting knocked out. I ain't never seen, and I should have went that way. I should have, because logic would have told me the best version of Haney should beat the hell out of the best version of Brian Norman, because of even what our guest on Tuesday said. Coach Hector Bermudez said that the chink in the armor was the Boca Chica fight against Norman, right? So I'm not going to play this game now of, well, the chink in the armor is when Teo didn't look that good against Claggett. I'm not even going to look at that fight. I'm going to be like, you know what? Best version of Teo were these. Best version of Shakur were these. I'm just going to make my judgment on best version of each of them, so that and I'm backing Shakur. Like, it's going to be hard for me not to not pick Shakur, but I'm also not going to be the guy that's going to say Shakur's going to kill him. I don't know what's going to happen.
Listen,
I'm just saying, I don't know what's going to happen.
Here's what I'm going to bring to the table is the handicap of the fight. And I think this is really what we need to dial in on what you just said, Angelo. Shakur's hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the deciding moment of this fight. I think Shakur beats Teo in every fashion, but if he hurts his hands and Teo smells blood, and he is a shark in the water, I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
He senses anything that Shakur's not leading up to, he is going to apply pressure, and he's going to go for it. I promise you he will. Now, what we're witnessing is the takeover, which I forgot his nickname before, the takeover. Teofimo.
The takeover.
We are not witnessing the showman, the guy that likes to go out there. I mean, we witnessed that on stage, but not here. We're witnessing the takeover. He is mentally trying to take over the thought process of Shakur Stevenson. Probably has Keyshawn and him talking about this afterwards, like, yo, why you let him get in your head? No, you get in my head. And they arguing back and forth. Yes, you did. You made him. You could have. I promise you, there was some conversation that happened. It was like, yo, what is, like, why even do that? And now they're trying to refocus Shakur. Shakur lost focus in that conversation. To bring it all back, he tried, like I said, he tried to bring it back into boxing. And at the end of it all, what did Teo do? After he threw that daggone chum in the water, and Shakur went after it, he went right back to boxing. And then said boxing is going to watch this, and they're going to pay attention to this. So you wanted to talk about boxing. This is what boxing is going to see. So I'm glad I pointed this out and put it on 3D film, and everybody can see it. It's on a Goodyear blimp flying around the stadium. Bro, you better pay attention, because if you don't, I am. And I know what I got to do. All I got to do is just pick and choose. You got to come and win. And that's it. He made that point. Very clear. You're on mute.
You're on mute, Clay.
Yeah, I got it. I love it. I love it, man. Yeah, man, breaking down these points, and it's so that's why I mean, listen, man, going into this, bringing these videos in, and that's why I needed the extra eyes on it. People who I respect, my guys up here, Reyes and Ray. You know what I'm saying, who could look at it very objectively. I try to look at things objectively, but I am a human being, right? And at the end of the day, Teofimo Lopez has done so many things. You just have so many things to cross reference when you see him say certain things or move in a certain way. It's like, is Teo dialed in or isn't he dialed in? Well, it looks like he is dialed in, right? But there's a moment here, and there's another wild card in this fight here that hasn't been involved in Teofimo's. He hasn't been at the forefront. He used to be at the forefront of everything. Teofimo used to be at the forefront of everything that was Teofimo. He was the Floyd Schofield Sr., right? He was the I don't even want to say Bill, because Bill doesn't do that to Devin. And what I mean is, Teo has a hard time. Like, the father wants to speak during Teo's time, but Teo's father has taken the back seat over his past couple fights and hasn't been as vocal. But in this particular fight, just to show you how important this fight obviously is and how serious they're taking it, the father, Teofimo Sr., has been extra vocal in this particular press conference, right? And I don't know if he overdid it or if he didn't do it. We'll decide here, and we'll let the chat make their own opinion. But here's one example of an exchange that these guys had there. You guys tell me what you think.
So where should y'all be?
Who y'all beat?
Who did you lose
My son
to?
got 2 lineal belts, man.
Who did you
He ain't
lose
in the
to?
pound for pound list, man.
Yo,
this is
senior,
bullshit.
Senior, who did you lose
This is
to?
bullshit.
Who did you lose to?
You been baby
You was
all
in
your
the corner
freaking
that
life.
night. You was
Been
in the corner that
baby all
night.
your life.
Okay, now watch this.
Man,
Watch
got you on
January
the pound for
31st.
pound list, man.
After the
because you
fight,
beat
I want you to
Zepeda.
talk everything you've been talking since I've been baby.
Man, I can't wait,
I'm
man.
gonna show you.
Man, I wish it
show
was
you.
tomorrow, man. I wish it was today, man.
Man, we could. I'm
Man, we're
ready
gonna
right
shut
now.
you down.
I'm ready at any given
I'm
time.
tired of your mouth, bro.
No,
I'm
you're not
tired.
like that.
Whoa.
Tired.
Hold up,
Senior,
man.
you're not like that.
Hey, pre-sale tickets today, all right? And then you got Ticketmaster.com.
Okay, Senior dialed in, right? Senior's all the way invested into this fight, and he feels, according to him, Shakur's been babied and coddled, and doesn't deserve to be on the pound for pound list, and that his son is a 2-time lineal champion. You know what I mean? A unified champion. Some arguing former undisputed champion. Where are you guys at on this, and what does this represent from Teofimo's father's side of the conversation, and how did Shakur handle it as far as you guys are concerned?
Did you notice that in the cadence of that back and forth, Teo is sitting there? If you look at him, right, pay attention. He's feeling that energy,
Brainstorming.
and he already like put a stop to it, because you could tell that Shakur in this sense is kind of like the Incredible Hulk, bro. The more you attack him, the stronger he gets, right? And Teo can feel it, so that's why he's like, whoa. Hey, he kind of made it jovial. Hey, buy your tickets. But I'm sure that on the side, he's telling his dad, like, hey, man, you're getting up a little too much. And I'm telling you, I've studied this guy already. You don't give him energy right now. You don't do it. Let him, because there's some truth to that, Clay, that it's a lot harder. Speaking just from my own experience of this, it's a lot harder to motivate yourself to get up versus you're motivating yourself, and then there's that little extra because Teo said this or the dad said that, and we've even heard this in basketball, how Shaq never even got told a certain thing by David Robinson, but he pretended it in his head because he needed to get up for the game to destroy David Robinson, when David Robinson never said a damn thing about him, right? And athletes can be like this, and let's keep in mind that Shakur's he's not a seasoned champion like Floyd was, right? Like Floyd was already on another level when he was past the age of 30. Shakur's not there yet. So for Shakur, this is his like Diego Corrales moment.
Right.
This is Mayweather Corrales for him.
I like
right?
it. Good
point. And that's what I'm saying is Teo, I think, in whatever you want to call it. I know some of the people that don't like Teo will be like, well, he's just delusional. Delusional or not, that's the same guy who did beat Lomachenko when Lomachenko was the Matrix.
Right.
And I'm just saying. So sometimes the delusional mind, you know what? The truth is what's in your head. And if Tio's sitting there saying to himself every time he's looking in the mirror, shadow boxing, every time he's training, he's like, I beat Lomachenko, and Shakur's nowhere near as good as Lomachenko, and I beat him, right?
Yep.
Like he could be repeating this over and over again, and to himself, talking himself into it. That's why I keep saying, Clay, we can't fall for the banana and the tailpipe. We got to say to ourselves, best version of Tio versus best version of Shakur, and let's find out.
I love it.
I agree, 1,000%.
Yeah,
too.
that was good points, man. I love the Diego Corrales comparison moment for Shakur.
What I really love about this is that you have Shakur going at it with the dad, right? You see it, and you see the energy. Why Teofimo is sitting there just contemplating, what am I going to say to this guy? And I want to give you guys a really good point of where this energy is coming from. And Tio studied this. What happened last year, right? 2024 in April, in an announcement in January at the press conference, when a certain somebody claimed to be crazy and had mental health and started doing all types of things where he wasn't retaliating, and the dad that was arguing with the family on the other side of the table, and it just looked crazy, and it got into the heads of the opponent. Did you guys see a similarity? Did you not hear Teofimo make a statement that, I got into this bag of Ryan Garcia, and I thought the people would force the fights on me, the better fights, and it didn't work? What is he doing right now? Do you not see the channeling of this? Do you not see the antics and the similarity of the Ryan Garcia head games that Teal's playing right now with the jigamas and, letting his dad go at it and then coming in there and saying stupid stuff like, hey, go watch the fight, get Ticketmaster, blah, 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 pay-per-view. Do you not see this? And what did Shakur say right after this? Clay, I can't wait for you to play it. Well, what does he say right after? What are you talking about, man? Yo, we here trying to go at it. You talking? Yeah. Turn my mic, guys. Echo, please. Yo, it's crazy in here.
Tomorrow, get your tickets, please. Okay, what the heck you doing, man?
We're going to rip this boy.
Don't mess up the bag. Shut up.
Shut your ass up, boy.
Right. And happy holidays to you all. Happy Kwanzaa, whatever. Mannix, what else, brother?
We'll get you guys out of here with this. Maybe a prediction on how this fight ends. Shakur, we'll start with you. Any outcome you see in your mind to this fight?
Outcome is me winning, and
I wish you the best,
me
Shakur.
putting on a masterclass performance, and Tio Senior crying after the fight.
I wish you the best, Shakur.
That's what I see happening.
You fight, man, because you just want everybody to think you're the best, man. You never fought nobody.
Senior, do not fall when you get in the ring.
Nobody like my son.
I don't want to see
Nobody
that.
like my son.
Stay on your feet.
Bro, he faster, quicker, smarter.
Have it in control.
More entertaining. More entertaining.
Oh, snap.
Shut up, man.
Bigger.
That double stepping that you do, bro, I got that shit
You're
figured
so
out.
mad. I'm under your
Keep
skin.
on
I know
double
that.
stepping, baby. I got you, bro.
I'm under your skin. I know that.
Oh, did you really fix your teeth?
Yeah, I did.
You really think that I didn't figure you out already, bro? Come on, man.
You like mine?
I'm gonna punch him.
I'm gonna say I told everybody again, bro.
Dang right. That's
This
right.
is not
Oh, that's
Lomachenko.
right.
Get that out of your head.
Let's see.
Senior.
So it seems like Teofimo Sr. is back in the driver's seat as a head trainer for Teofimo, doesn't it? It seems like he's got a game plan. He's working on beating Shakur. My question is, Teofimo going to buy into that game plan? What do you guys have to say about this whole entire Teofimo Sr. Teofimo relationship, the dynamic of what they've done in the last couple of fights? Where are you guys on this whole entire relationship, this father-son, coach, fighter, trainer, fighter, teacher, student relationship that's supposed to be there? Is that what they have?
No.
Oh, go ahead, Ray. Go ahead, Ray.
I never seen that. I thought Tio outgrew his father after the Lomachenko fight, and I think they're more like a buddy thing. And Tio's really in control of his estate, the Tio Jr. And I think his father is just who he is. He's his Bernie the boxer, bro. He lets him run his mouth for a little bit, and then he either steps in or he allows him to keep ranting. Right now, Teofimo Sr., you can see, is in conversation with Shakur, and Shakur's talking about Teo falling in the ring and don't do this and don't do that. You're going to cry. He's not even worried about what Teofimo Jr. is doing or how the fight's going to go. He's not even speaking upon it. It's really crazy that he's giving that man that much attention. Hence what I just said earlier. So it's definitely a good play, and I think this is part of the plan. I know a lot of people think that Teo was upset. I think he's bothered because his dad's doing a poor choice of arguing, but I think it's part of the plan for them to in a sense of pause, tag team Shakur and let Teo run his senior run his mouth while Teofimo Jr. sits there and evaluates the emotions of Shakur Stevenson. And I think it might be playing to their part a little bit. They're starting to see things, but we'll see how that comes around because Shakur definitely keeps gathering himself back, recouping, dialing back. But you can see like the smirks and like, damn, this guy's really annoying type shit. Like, he's really like he's getting to his levels with him.
And I believe you can see that Shakur wants more interaction with Teo, but it does seem like the father's running the screens, right? Like he's in there, like bring that shit talking, bring all that energy over to me, keep that over here. And Teo seems to be trying to stay dialed in and try not to be emotional, say nothing crazy. But is that a good thing? Is that a game plan that Teo and his like? Is Teo scared to engage with Shakur, right? Does he not want to get into it with Shakur?
I don't think that's not the case.
No, it's not scared. It's all tactical. That's what I was saying is that the Versace podcast happened before this. That was a replayed thing that we watched. So leading up to it, if you listen to every interview from the inside the ring interview with Teo first, then they showed Shakur, right? Everything right now is Shakur is reaction. Shakur's being reactive and Teo is being proactive. So Teo, that's why I don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, Clay. Exactly. Don't. This is not. We're not gonna do Norman Haney on this one. We're gonna be responsible and say this is the best version of Teo. This is Teo already planting seeds. Like the war started the minute he signed that contract, man. Like. This all matters.
You know, look at Arnold Barboza fight. Look how he dialed that in the same way.
And he looked good on the Barboza fight, man.
Listen. I mean, he looked good. He did look good, but I thought Arnold Barboza. But listen, here I'm gonna tell you where I'm at with it. This is where I come with it. They're putting a lot of effort into. They really are approaching this with a full force campaign to try to derail Shakur Stevenson before he gets in the ring. Yep. And here comes a big twist. I don't think any of that affects Shakur.
I agree.
I think Shakur is super dialed in, and I think they're showing their hand. And I think what they're showing in their hand is nerves.
Right.
I don't take it as the games. I appreciate all the perspective as far as on the tactics and the strategy that they're doing. But the mere fact that there's tactics and strategies so involved in a press conference speaks volumes to where they are mentally going into this. I think Shakur is laughing at them in real time. And listen, I can resonate with that mentality because I've had those people who really focused way too much on the small things to try to get at me. And when the big things came up, it made no difference to me. What you have to understand is Shakur has already acknowledged that Teofimo Lopez is a top level fighter. He's not sleeping on Teofimo. He's not thinking Teofimo is sugary sweet. He already knows. So for him, this is all entertaining because when we leave this press conference, we working overtime in the gym.
Right.
We're doing things and preparing for the best version of you. But I do find it entertaining, and I'll poke at you and I'll play your little game with you on this stage just to get you to do what you love to do. Run your mouth. I love it because you're telling on yourself. Just like Teofimo Sr. said, yeah, that little two-step, we're ready for that two-step. What two-step? That's hilarious. I got a two-step. So we already know you guys are on your game and that you guys are taking this fight very seriously, but we also know that you guys aren't as confident as you're selling yourself to be. You're not there. I really believe I'm him. I don't need to convince myself. I don't need to talk myself up. I don't give a damn about none of that. Not my relationships with my brother, with Keyshawn Davis, not my relationships with getting belts and unifications, or whether I fought Javante or I didn't, or all those things that you're trying to project on me, which represent what's bothering you. That's what's happening here. You're bothered. You need the Ring Magazine belts, and it's you and your life heartbeat. I'm not necessarily there. I'm here to whoop on the guy who values all those things. Because once I bust the guy's ass who values all those things come organically to me. So we're going to watch you play this game. We're going to watch you try to be smart, intelligent. And I'm going to keep telling the world what I've been telling the world from day one, which is belt to ass.
Right.
January 31st.
Right.
Belt to ass.
Right. And again, Clay, because we're running out of time, but if you guys haven't been watching the show or didn't even watch it in the beginning, all three of us have already said we're picking Shakur for this. Whoa. Well, okay, sorry, Ray.
If I did or didn't.
We're rooting for Shakur for sure. And again, for the chat who just don't understand, I'm the guy that keeps getting attacked because I always say Shakur's ceiling is going to be Pernell Whitaker. This is me trying to explain to everyone that we can't. This is me trying to explain to everyone that we can't do this whole, let's talk about all the wrong things about Tio. All right, you guys can go to another show and watch that. We're not going to do that on this show. We're going to talk about all the things that Tio does. We're going to talk about all the things that Shakur does. Clay makes great points. Ray makes great points. I throw in what I throw in. At the end of the day, we're going to find out, but we are all really excited about this fight, which isn't even until over a month and a half away from now, Clay.
It's about a month and a half away, but I think it's people who might wonder when I bring up a video like this, why I do these kind of breakdowns. I do it because fights aren't won at press conferences.
Yeah.
Not to the greats, not to the people who are great. The greats, the GOATs, don't win fights at press conferences. When Terrence Crawford was up there with Canelo Alvarez, he wasn't winning those press conferences. He was just telling people, watch. Oh, you talking? Watch. Oh, you talking now too? Watch. He was letting them know that inside that, it ain't going to make no difference. You trying to break down my resume and tell me who I fought, who I didn't fight, name somebody special. I'm about to fight you. And all my energy is focused on belt to ass. I'm not trying to prove nothing up here. What I'm trying to prove is going to happen inside that ring. But I do see you guys are trying to really win in these press conferences. Like you said, Reyes, earlier, trying to influence the judges and what kind of champion is this going to be. You're trying to get all these edges because you're trying to figure out how to win this fight without fighting me. But we're going to fight. And the question is, are you going to beat me? You bringing up Keyshawn Davis and asking me about my brother, but I'm fighting you. So what are we going to do? Because I don't care about none of that. I'm on a level of greatness. Where are you? You're allowing belts to define you and people to define you, and that's what this is all about. This is about Teofimo Lopez needing validation. When he's saying, I need it, I gotta have it, he needs something that nobody can't give him.
That's exactly what I was going with.
He cannot get what he's trying to get from outside of himself. He needs to find that in the man in the mirror, and he's having a hard time doing it, which is why I was saying what I was saying yesterday on the Hangout and trying to let people know that mentally, where is Teofimo Lopez? And to me, the more and more he talks, the more and more he sounds like an unvalidated person, an insecure person, lack of self-confidence. And mentally going into a fight against Shakur Stevenson, who's arguably the best defensive player in the game, a pound-for-pound fighter right now on the list. Some people saying future face of boxing, pound-for-pound on like Terrence Crawford status boxer. Yo, you better be dialed in. And I don't know if he is. I really don't know if he is. It is what it is. I don't want to waste too much time. I want to go ahead and continue to move the needle, but that's an interesting point of contention. We'll talk more about this as we get closer and closer to the fight on another episode. I want to segue into the man of the hour who stepped into the building. You guys know I've been screaming for this guy to come back into the sport, and people were all jumping on him, and they were shaking him and throwing him off to the side because he made a mistake. But my guy, Keyshawn Davis, man, returns into the space right now at that press conference being confronted with
with so many questions, and we learned so many things about what Keyshawn's doing right now. We learned that he changed a lot of people in his team. We learned that he has a whole perspective, even on championship belts. He even spoke a little bit towards the idea of him not being at 140 pounds as long as people think he is going to be there, that he's going to do what he does there, but he's ultimately looking for the best fights. And guys, on the back end of Terrence Crawford going head to head with the WBC, the sanctioning bodies are right there on the big stage being confronted over what they do as far as sanctioning body fees are concerned and things of that nature. What you're noticing is these fighters over there on the other side, and I'm saying the other, when I say the other side, I'm talking about the opposite side of Zuffa. The people who are in the regular world they're letting go of the idea of the belts defining them. They refuse to be defined by an IBF, a WBO, a WBC, a WBA. The only belt they really care about, it seems, is that Ring Magazine belt, but they're not on that side of the conversation, right? So he's more focused on making the best fights happen. Keyshawn Davis returns into the space. What do you guys think about the new and improved Keyshawn 2.0 that you guys saw at the press?
Wait for this. One, I want to shout out to Angelo for reaching into the bay to grab his phone. That's diabolical. I've never seen that in my life. But but that was cool. I ain't gonna lie. It just looked like it came out the water. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was actually pretty cool. But yeah, man. I want to say I think Keyshawn is he looks a little bit more focused. He looks 100% like Keyshawn before he started dialing in. Like, he looks like he's ready for all challenges. He looks like he don't care who it is. I love the fact that he's looking to address all the media on all the things that happened, on all the situations that took place with the last fight. You know what I mean? He ain't running from no smoke. He's really ready to address. Even when brought up to question the meeting with Hitchins, I know we're going to get there. He was so, okay, so what? Why? We were sparring as kid, bro. I was a kid. Like, he threw all that out there to say, look, shut your ass up. What does that got to do with you accepting this fight? Keyshawn is dialed in with, like you said, the new team, the new focus, the new contract with Jay Prince. Bro, I am all for it. And I won't be surprised if we see him over there with Matchroom soon. Getting more fights, and Eddie Hearn even probably moving him to another level, or staying with Turkey on the Ring promotion. And moving a different way.
Reyes sent me this video a little earlier today. This was an old video, actually. This is when he was talking to Gilly, $1 million worth of game a long time ago. But this is a great little snippet here. And here's Keyshawn Davis speak. This is way before. This is while Keyshawn was getting ready for his fight in Norfolk and defending his title. This is before the whole Virginia situation, right? But here he is speaking on the belts.
Too. Undisputed. Oh, man, fuck undisputed.
That don't mean nothing?
That don't mean it. Each belt you gotta pay for. At the end of the day, if you really want to be technical, at the end of the day, us fighters that's promoting these belts and sanctioning bodies, we keeping them alive. We keeping the sanctioning bodies alive. Us fighters that be like, yo, I'm a world champ, I'm a IBF world champ, WO world champ. We getting they lit so they can keep charging us for this. What champion or NBA finals or Super Bowl, gotta pay to be a champion? That's why, like, Tank never really technically wanted to be a world champ, because small like that is like he gonna get the section of bodies lit. So I don't give a about becoming undisputed. You gotta pay for them. Right. Why gotta pay for something that I earned? Right. Come on.
The fuck am I paying you every time I step foot in the fucking ring? That don't even make sense. I'm the motherfucker that's putting my life on the line, not you.
I agree there.
You ain't stepping your motherfucking ass in that ring. You or nobody else. You were
right.
I agree.
Now, this is before the whole situation, and the reason why I'm bringing this up here, right? Hold on a second here. The reason why I'm bringing it up here is because you are seeing people can say whatever they want to say about the way Terrence Crawford is handling this, right? And they want the sanctioning bodies to be more powerful than they really are. The sanctioning body, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? Right, guys. So if these fighters aren't valuing these belts, and they're they're starting to disavow, they're starting to rebuke the value of these belts. And what are these belts actually going to be at the end of the day? If they're not accepting these belts, they're not accepting these fees, and they're making boxing about the fights being made and not about earning these
belts, then ultimately the future of the sanctioning bodies, it seems dim. And what's going to be the legitimate belt? Ring Magazine. And where's the Ring Magazine belt with Turki Al-Sheikh? And what's Turki Al-Sheikh doing, pushing to oust these sanctioning bodies to a certain degree? It looks like the sanctioning bodies are down bad right now. And you're seeing this sentiment be spread throughout the whole boxing space. You're seeing plenty of fighters being confronted with this. And the conversation isn't so much about celebrating what Turkey's doing or celebrating what's happening at Zuffa, but it does seem to be a legitimate bit of tension. And Terrence Crawford's given a lot of fighters a lot of courage to kind of speak to this elephant in the room, and nobody's ducking the smoke when it comes to this conversation. Am I bugging?
Agreed. No.
And again, if you going into just this whole space of the Keyshawn conversation and everything, I got a chance to see him and talk to him for a couple of minutes when he was here in Vegas. He was here for the fight that had Jaleel Hackett on the underdog at Fontainebleau. He looked good then. He was very open about the mental health aspect of things, where things were going with him. He apologized about whatever the incident is. I thought his next fight was going to be Albright, but Hitchins went ahead and stepped up and did his thing. So big things are definitely happening for Keyshawn, especially with signing with Jay Prince. This isn't new, guys. Errol Spence spoke about this a few years ago with the belts. Floyd has spoken about this, about the belts. Miguel Cotto has denied paying for his own WBO. Like, that's a Puerto Rico based belt. And it's just, I think that the difference now, Clay, is with the Muhammad Ali extension or the Muhammad Ali revival or whatever they're calling that act, that's most likely going to be passing here real soon, since they already announced the Zuffa boxing date being January 23rd, I believe, here in Las Vegas, day before UFC 324 in Las Vegas. I think fighters are just starting to be like, they're all combining their efforts now all at once. I think that it's going to take someone like an Eddie Hearn who keeps doubling down. Hence, and again, I'm just throwing this out there because this is fact, Conor Benn became a #1 mandatory. Maybe it has a little something to do with the fact that Eddie is continuing to push the belts, right? He's continuing to help out. But yeah, man. So Clay, the power always lies in where the people are watching the most. So if Zuffa Boxing is the one that's being shown in the USA the most, then they're going to recognize the Ring Magazine before they're going to recognize any other belts. And I don't think it was an accident that Teofimo Lopez didn't even bring the WBO up there. He only brought Ring Magazine belts up there. So
all right, let's catch up with Teo. With Keyshawn real quick and see what he's been up to and what the plans are.
31st. Shit, we'll see. I don't really. Whatever happens for me is gonna be for me. But I just want to come back, be better, bro, and just be happy to be back, bro. Like, that's all, bro. I don't care who I fight.
What are some of the things that you're doing to get yourself ready for 2026 in terms of like training, aside from sparring with some people?
Right. That's a great question. I changed my entire team. Everybody that I used to work with, I don't work with anymore. Everything is different. Everything is different. As far as I had to do a whole freaking circle check at the June, and everybody got deleted. So what I do different, everybody got deleted except for DB3. You know what I'm saying? Now we got a whole new team. We got a whole new system. You know what I'm saying? Only thing that changed was God. Only thing that stayed the same was God. Like, God stayed the same. Everything else changed. You know what I'm saying? And June was a big wake-up call for DB3.
Keyshawn, in the past, you've always had a close relationship with Shakur and Bud Crawford. What are your thoughts on the, whole issue that happened between WBC and Terrence Crawford? Can I get your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna speak on myself.
Absolutely.
Because I spoke on this situation before. Yeah. I always say I never understand why we become champion have to pay for a belt. Keep that shit.
Yeah.
Keep it. I'm not gonna work 14, 15 years for me to pay for something I worked for. When I went to the Olympics, did I pay for that damn medal? No. If I walk into this arena without this belt, is these people still gonna show up? Yes. So keep the fucking belt. You're not.
What issues I have with that? They still pay fees to be sanctioned, period, for these fights. Now, once that goes away, and I know what Angelo's going to say, because I know that has a lot to do with it, that's going to be one of the things that will change, hopefully. And that's The only issue I have ultimately with this is the promoters, right? Here's where it gets in, right? That Muhammad Ali Act that protects the fighters, it doesn't really protect the fighters.
Yeah.
All it does is help the promoters find a loophole to find their fighters on the highest pay scale to these sanctioning bodies and pay the money lucrative, which we already heard Eddie Hearn say how they got Lima in the top 10 on the WBA or WBO sanction. It actually was WBA sanction to get him high enough so that Boots can fight him for a legitimate title and move up into a position. Crazy, diabolical, and it shows you that these guys are able to be bought, and they're all about the money. They're not about the throw of the fight, the fighters. If there was a fee that you wanted to have for the belts because the belts had to be made and remade and remade and remade, cool. Should it be 3.33%? No, I don't know. I mean, that's not my call. But at the end of the day, I think that these guys are really pushing the right thing in the sport. And as far as Little Man, and a lot of people like to use him coming off the Floyd tail skirts and say that, oh, well, you know, he didn't want the belts. He's not a champion. And all his fans say that. Let's look at the truth. That man's never dropped the belt unless he missed weight. He's always went and fought for titles. He's always paid his sanctioning fees. Yes, he hates it. And he tried to unify with Lomachenko. So that's a lot of things to think about. So not everybody says what they think it is. Let's just keep it real. And I do want to also say that, you know, these guys like to flourish the titles. They like the titles. Certain people like the titles because it speaks to the people. Once the people, because the casual fans don't know what that means. They a lot of casual fans only know the ring belt and the green belt. That's it. They don't know about the other championships. They hear champ, they're like, oh, I thought he was a champ, whatever. Who's really the champ? I get that. But at the same time, these guys climb in that ring to put themselves on the line, like Terrence said. And they have no respect where they have to pay somebody to put their lives on the line to carry a title that you guys are sanctioning for this fight, you know, and putting these guys in positions to fight these guys to defend their titles that they earned. Take it.
I think at the end of the day, Clay, we're seeing it happen in front of our eyes right now. Virgil Ortiz, who does not have a world title, who's never had a world title, is ranked number 1 by Ring Magazine at 154 pounds. He's ranked over all the other sanctioning belt champions, right? And the fight that's being negotiated right now, from what we're hearing, is him against Boots Ennis, who just got in the 154-pound division, and he's ranked number 6. And I promise you, Clay, the only thing that's going to matter is how much advertising gets put into Boots versus Ortiz, and then how it's put out to the people, right? And the winner of that will be declared the number 1 person. like irregardless, because it's however, whether people like it or not, it's the same thing, man, in college football. And there's things happening in college football right now. The WBC, IBF, WBO, WBA, they're just bowl games. They're just bowl games. We're trying to figure out who the national champion is. That's who we're trying to figure out.
And I think that what's happening also is that there's a myth being busted here about these belts, man. These belts have always occupied the space as the end all be all, the colorful, you know, I mean, these belts that are surrounding me right here, they've always been given all this respect, right? But I think that's because we've been in a space where boxing has lacked structure, and it's been the Wild Wild West. And these champions in these different sanctioning bodies don't even have any obligations to fight each other. And ultimately, by charging all these sanctioning body fees, it makes the fighters very reluctant to even chase unifications, to chase undisputed, to chase the ultimate goal, which is becoming an undisputed champion. And undisputed is something that is necessary, because what does undisputed really say? It says the real champion. And that's what Ring Magazine, this belt right up here, seems to be representing for a lot of these fighters who are looking at it like Shakur's legitimately thinking about vacating his 135 WBC title, right? To what? For an opportunity to achieve greatness. What's greatness? Beating a 2-time lineal champion, Ring Magazine champion, and Teofimo Lopez. And the same thing you just said about about Jerron Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz, they are completely, Ring Magazine rankings are completely disregarding these sanctioning body belts and saying that's cute. You have some sort of you're being acknowledged by some sort of sanctioning body, but that doesn't make you the best because you have the belt. Abbas Baharu isn't a top 3 guy at 154 because he has a WBA title. They still have him down there like 8 or 9 or wherever he is out on that damn list towards the bottom of that list. I think that's real interesting. You know what I'm saying? I think that's real interesting. I want to go ahead and segue into another conversation real quick here. Hold on one second here. Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. I want to segue into this right here real quick. And let's talk about this one real quick.
I gotta fight. Oh, no, hold on. February. I'll say this. Do you want to make it happen, though? Don't ask me, do you want to make it happen? There were talks about this fight for January 31st. This is a big fight, big money fight that can stand on its own. But, that's respected. Hitchins is looking a bit big. He looks. He might be too big for you at 140. You want me to get all hype and be like,
Okay, so right there, shout out to Fight Hub, and that was Fight Hype on the last one. This one here, we're seeing Keyshawn have his moment with Richardson Hitchins. Richardson Hitchins, a fighter who's been relatively, I don't know, it's just been hard to read him. And I think we talked about it here before. Blue Blood was on here, and a lot of people were just disappointed saying that he's not really trying to be active, right? He's not trying to. He's an IBF champion at 140 pounds, but refuses to unify with a Gary Antoine Russell. He doesn't look like he's excited about getting in a fight with a Sabril Matias, a current WBC champion. But now all of a sudden, Hitchins, look, props to Hitchins, who looks like he was with the shits here in this video right here, right? Like he's with the shits talking here, and Eddie Hearn dials in and lets the world know like this fight was legitimately this close to being confirmed for January 31st. It didn't happen. There's a part of me that kind of feels like Hitchins was kind of working out his management situation, his promotional company situation as well. So he was kind of stagnant probably.
Yep. No, he hasn't been active since that last win. Then he had the whole drama with I'm a free agent. And I think he saw what it looks like, right? That the boxing world is a very tiny world. And he called out everyone and their moms, and no fights were being made. And even this one, and I told you, Clay, this is my theory. Even this one was on the table for January 31st, because obviously it would make sense for someone like Keyshawn to be on the same card as his brother Shakur, right? But a blockage happened. So I think the block was simple. Hey, Hitchins, if you want to play with the turkey Al-Sheikh money, you got to be with Eddie Hearn. If you don't do it, you don't get to be on any of these cards. And I think Hitchins finally figured it out. He towed the line. Now, all of a sudden, he signed to Eddie Hearn. Bro, what took so long? That win was like, what, 4 months ago? 5 months ago?
Yeah, well, I think Eddie might have called him out a little bit too. I think Eddie wanted him to test his worth out on the he wanted him outside of get from under my umbrella and let's go see you show me that you're really worth all this. And I think he ended up having to come full circle to realize that the opportunities weren't that great outside. The PBC wasn't going to give him something like that. Top Rank is completely revamping their whole situation. Were you going to go to Queensbury? Were you going to go to Zuffa? Are you going to go to MVP? You're going to go fight for Jake Paul? I mean, I think he kind of got cornered a little bit into what it's going to be. But look, let's talk about Richardson Hitchins right now and segue into that real quick and talk about what's in front of him. Obviously, Richard Hitchins in talks with making that Jermaine Ortiz fight happen. I guess it's a fight that he's looking to make happen there at 140 pounds. But outside of that, Gary Antoine Russell's a legitimate option for him as far as unifications is concerned in the division. And of course, there's always the 147. Well, Keyshawn Davis is there, obviously, is an option, but there's a 147-pound conversation for Richardson Hitchins. There's Devin Haney up there. There's Brian Norman Jr. up there, right? Those opportunities are there for him at 147. Where do you see Richardson Hitchins going at this point? What seems to makes the most sense for him in the position that he's in?
Yeah, no, Hitchins is fighting Keyshawn in Norfolk, Virginia. Is what it sounds like already.
That's what they wanted. That's what they
wanted.
wanted.
Well, I mean, it's Eddie Hearn's negotiating now that they're back, and we're gonna see where Jay Prince advises Keyshawn. Is he staying with Top Rank? Is he just going to be with the Turkey Al-Sheikh deal because he's a Riyadh season representative, kind of like a Haney, right? Like who's really promoting Haney, right? All we know is that Turkey Al-Sheikh is backing Haney. So Keyshawn, Jay Prince could be telling that to Keyshawn, like, hey, man, it doesn't matter. As long as Turkey's backing you, we'll figure it out. So like I said, this fight is happening, in my opinion, because Hitchins finally said, all right, best course of action for me, win or lose, is to get back with Eddie, and then we'll go from there. So I think that's the fight you're going to see happen next. It'll probably get scheduled for March in Norfolk, Virginia. They'll try to make it into a main event headliner or some sort. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, PBC didn't step up, Clay, for Hitchins. Golden Boy didn't step up for Hitchins, right? Top Rank didn't step up for Hitchins.
They just couldn't step up for him. Right? Obviously, the money is one part of the conversation, but also the fights. What fights are these guys really offering him? From my understanding, I'm hearing that there's a finalization of an agreement going on between him and Jermaine Ortiz. That's probably going to be towards the end of January, early February. It's going to be that fight more than likely, and then probably, after that, depending on the results of that fight, we'll see if Hitchins decides to stay at 140 pounds, which I don't think he is.
Nope.
With you, I think the Keyshawn Davis fight, honestly, may legitimately happen at 147. Yeah. I think Keyshawn is I'm gonna be real with you. I think Keyshawn may be thinking about getting out the way at 140. You know what I mean? A little bit potentially. I think depending on Shakur's moves will dictate what Keyshawn does. If Shakur decides to campaign at 140 pounds and decides to make some big fights there, then Keyshawn will probably move on. If he goes past that and goes to Devin Haney next, because on that same press conference, Turkey Al-Sheikh did make his presence felt and said that he had a big reward for the winner between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. I personally have to believe that it's the Devin Haney fight at 147. I would think that that's the fight that's going to get made right there. Keyshawn may hang back then, and maybe we'll see Hitchins campaign at 140 pounds for one more fight. But without a belt, I just don't see Hitchins really trying to get into that rehydration clause and staying there too much longer at 140. I just don't see it.
We'll see.
I'm going to tell you where I think it goes. I do think he's moving to 147, and I think signing with Eddie Hearn, there's a promise there to get that Lewis Crocker fight to level that IBF up to the next level. Only way he's going to get a fight with Devin Haney in the future, because Devin Haney is chasing championships. He's not chasing fights for ordinary people. And I think we'll see Hitchins and Conor Benn at one point if he fights the winner of Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios and able to pull off that title and keeping everything in-house to make a mega fight with a Devin Haney. If Devin can get this fight rolling with Romero and the ball rolling on that, or Manny Pacquiao decides to fight him and he wins the title. However it goes, we will see that matchup sometime in December of next year, or maybe early January of next year, 2027.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. I like it, man. That was a great point you made right there, man. We're creeping up on the time here, so we'll see what Hitchins decides to do here. I want to close out the show with one last look. I mean, we got a card coming up this weekend. We didn't get to break down the card that much. I don't know. I'm thinking about doing another live later on this evening. You know what I'm saying? Because it turns out I ain't gotta go.
You don't gotta go do the third shift today.
Last night I didn't have to go.
Yeah, because we didn't. Yeah,
so we might.
You don't got to do the third shift today, Clay. You know that we didn't get a chance to talk about Deontay Wilder and his comeback. We didn't get a chance to talk about the Jake Paul thing. You know, in England right now, or in the UK, a lot of the news is that he might be injured. I think somebody even spoke up and said, "I don't think he's going to fight." Carl Froch is already saying how he has a flight scheduled, but he didn't pay for the ticket because he's still not convinced if that's going to happen or not, right? And then, this card with Diego Pacheco and everything, Diego Pacheco, Kevin Lele Sajo. I keep telling you guys, I've been saying this, don't sleep on Sajo, man. Do not sleep on the phenomenon. He might upset the apple cart for all the people that love Diego Pacheco.
This is going to be the biggest threat on paper that I've seen Diego Pacheco in the ring with, in my opinion. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, a lot of people thought Trevor McCumbee would have provided some Trevor McCumbee.
That was not a contest at all, bro.
Yeah, I really meant to say the Stevenson, the Stone Cold.
Steve Nelson, the one the one here in Vegas. Stevie Nelson was supposed to give him a hard time, which Stevie Nelson kind of showed you that where Diego Pacheco needs to grow. But for you guys who don't know about Kevin Lele Sajo, Look him up. This guy is not coming to play around. He's undefeated. He's been pushed to the side. This is his biggest chance to get that turkey money is to go destroy Diego Pacheco. So we're going to need to see Diego Pacheco at his best in order to beat someone like Sajo. So we're going to find out. I'm excited about that entire card.
I agree, and I hope we do, because Pacheco, remember, is no longer with what's the name as a coach anymore.
Benavidez Senior.
So I think that's going to say a lot to how he moves forward, how he addresses his schooling and hard knocks and boxing. It could be a best thing for him. We see Rayo move out the ways of Benavidez Senior and with Robert Garcia and get a nice victory. Unfortunately, he lost the title in the next fight. But do we see the same thing with a Pacheco, like with his new camp and things of that nature? How does he come out? What tricks have you learned? Does he stay with the same trick? Every coach is different, and some coaches want you to keep doing the same thing. Things about you that they see flaws in, but they change more than just the flaws. So we'll have to wait and see on this and see if this puts him in a great spot, because I think I want to see this fight with Fundora moving up and fighting Pacheco, because I think a twin tower battle is on the rise.
There's a lot of twin tower. I mean, Diego Pacheco and Hamza Shiraz as well.
That too. Yeah, I think that. Well, he got to get past and Billy.
But I mean, there's a lot of things going on, man. But listen, we're gonna shoot up another live. Probably go up maybe about 8-ish. I don't know. Let's see. Look out for the thumbnail. We'll dive deep into the Diego Pacheco card, and the undercard. We'll dive deep into that fight. We still got to talk about Deontay Wilder and what he looks like he's getting ready to do for 2026. A real interesting confrontation and a makeshift face-off between him and Derek Chisora. We'll talk about all that stuff, guys. It is the ATP Combat Media Show. I appreciate you guys. You guys, really, by the way, it's the boxing take. You know what I'm saying? This particular show is the boxing take. Hit the like button if you haven't done it. I didn't really bother you guys to do it like that. Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Yeah, you guys are being diabolical, man. We had over 70 people here.
Like 67 people here, man.
Hit the like button, man. Until the next one, man. You guys already know what it is. It's your boy Clay. It's the rest of the. It's the usual suspects. It's ATP Combat Media, and at this point, we out.
You don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play so.
Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we